Recently, a shocking turn of events in Israel has left the religious community stunned. The situation is so intense that Israel has even declared a state of war. Various religious and mythological texts have foretold events signaling the world's end. Recently, we've witnessed a surge in natural disasters, persecution of believers, and global instability. Many believe these signs point to the imminent arrival of the end times. So what's really happening in Israel? Recently, officials from Israel have shared some alarming information about a prophecy they believe will soon come true. This revelation comes amidst an ongoing war, shedding light on specific predictions expected to be fulfilled. Let's explore this prophecy and its potential impact on humanity. Israeli officials have made a significant revelation that has sent shockwaves around the world. According to them, a prophecy is looming on the horizon, and they want the world to take it seriously. In their own words, they issued a final warning that has left people terrified and concerned about what the future holds. This prophecy isn't something new. It has deep roots in the beliefs of various religions, including Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and even Zoroastrianism. It revolves around the arrival of a Messiah. Israel, the birthplace of three major religions, plays a crucial role in fulfilling this prophecy. However, not everyone agrees with this perspective, and opposition to its realization has been significant. This prophecy stands out amid theological and ideological clashes, where religious scholars and devotees fiercely debate conflicting ideas. It has resonated across centuries, capturing the attention of believers from different faiths. Despite the disputes, it remains a common thread among followers of various religions. The prophecy is intricately connected to the reconstruction of the Third Temple, a significant event in the beliefs of those who follow it. However, opposition, particularly from the Antichrist, adds another layer of complexity to this already mysterious revelation. Israel's and its importance in different beliefs. Further, let's take a step back to understand where this fascinating story began, in Israel. Christians, Muslims, and Jews all see Israel as an important country in the Middle East by the Mediterranean Sea. It's considered the Holy Land, especially Jerusalem, its capital. This city holds a special place in the hearts of believers from these religions because it's home to many sacred places, like the Temple Mount, the Old City, the Western Wall, and Mount Zion. These spots mean a lot in Judaism and Christianity. For Christians, Israel is tightly connected to Jesus' life and death, known as Isa in Islam. He's seen as one of Allah's messengers. According to their holy book, certain prophecies point to Jesus' return. In the Bible, there's talk about the first-ever temple known as Solomon's Temple. King Solomon built this temple on what we now call the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. It was a way to honor God and existed from the 10th to the 6th centuries BC. Sadly, it was destroyed during the Babylonian siege of Jerusalem under King Nebuchadnezzar's rule. After Solomon's temple fell, the second temple, later known as Herod's temple, was built. At first, it was a simple place of worship. But during the time of King Herod the Great, it went through a massive makeover. The new temple had impressive walls and columns. It stood tall for more than 580 years until the Romans came in. They invaded Jerusalem and destroyed the temple once again. Challenges and controversies. After the second temple was destroyed, there was a strong desire to build a third one. The Jewish people wanted a temple that wouldn't be easily destroyed by outside forces. Their goal was not just to have a sacred place of worship, but one that outshone its predecessors. The vision was to create something powerful, a temple that wouldn't fall easily to enemies. The team also aimed to make it even more magnificent than the previous temples. However, building the third temple has been far from easy. Many countries, especially Islamic nations, have opposed this idea for years. Jerusalem, where the temple would be, is shared with Palestine. While some countries recognize West Jerusalem as Israel's capital, East Jerusalem is considered the capital of Palestine. This division is partly because of the Dome of the Rock, an Islamic monument on the Temple Mount. Jewish visitors are discouraged from going into the complex, and Jewish worship there is strictly prohibited. Some doubt that the previous Jewish temples stood on this site. This belief has sparked controversy and led researchers and scholars to investigate further. Interestingly, this exploration has uncovered something intriguing. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, a significant Islamic structure, was built on top of a Jewish ritual cleansing site. British archaeologist Robert Hamilton confirmed this revelation by carefully exploring the mosque's foundations. Beneath the mosque's floor, the British archaeologist Robert Hamilton made an incredible find: a mikveh, a bath used in Judaism for ritual purification. This discovery, dating back centuries, ended speculations and supported the Jewish belief. These groundbreaking discoveries were hidden in the British Mandate archives. The goal was to avoid upsetting Islamic officials. Locals see this evidence as a green light, confirming the Jewish claim to the site. This revelation shifted public perception and led to the final warning by Israeli officials: Jerusalem's importance in different religions. So now the question arises: why does Jerusalem matter so much to Christianity, Islam, and Judaism? And how does it tie into rebuilding the temple? Jerusalem holds immense importance for Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. The Temple Mount is a central site with deep historical ties to Judaism. The discoveries connect the dots and affirm this historical connection, adding weight to the Jewish claim. Jewish organizations are dedicated to rebuilding the Third Temple. For a long time, these groups have tirelessly worked towards this goal. Their efforts involve advocating for constructing a new sanctuary on the revered Temple Mount. So, the city is incredibly important for Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. For them, it's not just a city for Judaism, but holds deep spiritual value for Christianity and Islam, too. Each religion's beliefs and traditions are deeply tied to this ancient city. For Judaism, Jerusalem is the holiest city. It's woven into the history and religious identity of Jewish people. According to Jewish tradition, it's where God chose to reveal divine presence on earth. The Western Wall, also known as the Wailing Wall, symbolizes this special bond. It's a place where Jews gather to pray, showing their strong connection to God and their ancestors. The Temple Mount in Jerusalem is believed to be where the first and second Jewish temples stood, making it a revered place for worship and pilgrimage. Christianity also holds Jerusalem in high regard. The city has significant importance in Christian beliefs and history. It's associated with the life and ministry of Jesus Christ, making it a crucial site for Christians worldwide. It's closely linked to the life, crucifixion, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, as written in the New Testament. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre in the Old City of Jerusalem is where Jesus' crucifixion, burial, and resurrection are believed to have happened. This sacred place is crucial for Christian pilgrims worldwide, drawing millions each year. The Via Dolorosa, a path in the Old City, is the route Jesus took while carrying the cross. To the east of Jerusalem lies the Mount of Olives, a significant Christian site. This is where Christians believe Jesus ascended to heaven. It adds to Jerusalem's deep spiritual importance for followers of Christ. Jerusalem is the third holiest city for the Islamic community after Mecca and Medina. Its religious significance is rooted in the Prophet Muhammad's association with the city. Muslims believe the Prophet Muhammad undertook a miraculous journey from Mecca to Jerusalem. This journey culminated in his ascent to heaven from the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third holiest site in Islam, and the Dome of the Rock are iconic structures in Jerusalem. The golden dome of the Rock serves as an architectural and religious symbol, emphasizing the profound importance of Jerusalem in Islam, shaping religion, history, and region. The significance of Jerusalem goes beyond religious practices. It has shaped history and the region's geopolitics. The impact of Jerusalem on these three major religions is evident not only in their religious rituals, but also in the historical and geopolitical landscape of the area. The Holy City has been a central point of religious devotion, conflict, and aspirations for sovereignty. The city's complex nature, marked by overlapping religious and historical claims, has fueled tension and disagreement among diverse religious and political groups. Jerusalem has seen the rise and fall of many empires and civilizations. From the ancient Israelites and Canaanites to the Romans, Byzantines, Arabs, Crusaders, Ottomans, and more, each left an enduring mark on the city. It has been a coveted prize for conquerors and a vibrant religious and cultural exchange hub. In the present day, Jerusalem remains a city divided along religious and political lines. The Old City, with its majestic holy sites and labyrinthine streets, serves as a microcosm of various faiths coexisting within limited space. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict adds an additional layer of complexity to Jerusalem's significance. Both Israelis and Palestinians claim it as their capital, tirelessly seeking sovereignty over the city. This situation with Jerusalem remains a big problem in peace and international relations discussions, building the Third Temple. The Jews are working on building the Third Temple, and there are challenges they face in this project. The Jewish community, especially the Sanhedrin, is taking on the big task of constructing the Third Temple. This involves various preparations like growing crops and forests, all to meet the requirements of the temple. One challenge is the red heifer. We know that a key part of rebuilding the temple is having a flawless red heifer. This red heifer has a unique role in purifying Jews, allowing them to take part in temple services. Following the steps outlined in the Bible in the book of Numbers, particularly chapter 19, is crucial for this purification process. Rabbi Chimay Richmond, who used to be the international director of the Temple Institute, is committed to bringing back a flawless and unharmed red heifer to Israel. Getting a red heifer is not an easy job. Only 9 red heifers were used in purification rituals over 1,000 years between the first and second temples. It's no surprise that they have become extremely rare. Despite this rarity, Rabbi Chaim Richmond and other knowledgeable rabbis from the Temple Institute are on a determined mission, going to great lengths to produce a red heifer. To achieve their goal, the Jewish community has turned to modern scientific technology, seeking the expertise of a knowledgeable cattle farmer skilled in the complexities of animal breeding. They have utilized frozen embryos from North America's Red Angus, implanting them into Israel's domestic cattle. However, breeding a red heifer is no straightforward task. It must be born in Israel and be entirely free from any physical imperfections or flaws, such as marks, spots, or abnormalities that could detract from its perfect appearance. In addition to these strict criteria, the red heifer must not have been used for any work, especially plowing, as it needs to remain untouched and dedicated solely to temple rituals. Rabbi Chaim Richmond's determination led him to explore ancient books and employ different scientific methods to navigate this intricate process. It's essential to note that this is just one requirement for the temple, with more challenges to overcome. Another critical aspect involves the training of the Kohanim. Kohanim is a special group of priests led by the Sanhedrin and the temple movement. These priests undergo thorough training to learn the proper actions, mannerisms, and use of equipment required in the new temple. Furthermore, the construction of the new altar, essential for offering sacrifices, must take place at the original site atop the Temple Mount. The altar's design allows for easy dismantling and reassembly in another location until it can find its permanent position. This intricate process, involving the careful breeding of the red heifer and the extensive training of the Kohanim, showcases the meticulous efforts undertaken by the Jewish community in their ambitious endeavor to build the Third Temple. The determination amidst challenges. The Jewish community's unwavering determination to fulfill the challenge of building the Third Temple is deeply rooted in their historical circumstances. Presently, Muslims hold control over the Temple Mount, preventing Jews from entering or worshiping within the confines of the location where the previous temples stood. Faced with this restriction, the Jewish community has taken extraordinary measures to establish a sacred place for their worship. Orthodox Jews, in particular, perceive the reconstruction of the temple as the only viable solution to the challenges confronted by the Jewish people and the world at large. However, a significant hurdle arises in the form of Muslim control over the Temple Mount. Reclaiming the mount necessitates political action rather than relying on legal measures. Traditional approaches have failed, leading Israel's Judicial Council to acknowledge that the solution lies beyond the scope of the law, prompting the exploration of alternative approaches. Given the impasse, international organizations, regional states, and countries outside of Israel may serve as mediators to facilitate a solution. Leaders of different faiths must collaborate and work together to navigate the complexities surrounding the Temple Mount. This collaboration becomes imperative to pave the way for the realization of the temple reconstruction. While legal measures prove insufficient, securing the necessary funding for this ambitious endeavor is a formidable challenge. Temple construction, being community-driven, heavily relies on donations to gather the required capital. However, raising these funds proves to be daunting, demanding the project team engage in extensive fundraising efforts. Effective communication becomes essential as the Jewish community endeavors to build the Third Temple. They must skillfully employ persuasive techniques to convey the importance and value of the temple project. Through outreach efforts targeting individuals, businesses, and philanthropic organizations, the goal is to inspire potential donors to contribute generously. Garnering financial support is crucial for the ambitious undertaking. Traditional construction practices pose additional hurdles in today's modern construction industry. Many temples adhere to age-old building practices relying on specific materials and methods. Locating and sourcing these materials, such as particular types of stone or wood, can be time-consuming and logistically complex. Working with craftsmen possessing specialized knowledge and skills in traditional materials presents another challenge. Balancing the preservation of cultural heritage with modern construction standards becomes a delicate task. Ensuring the structural integrity and longevity of the temple stands as a paramount concern, recognizing that temples are not merely structures of worship, but enduring symbols of faith and culture. Pool of Siloam. Beyond the Third Temple, let's journey back to the 8th century BC, where King Hezekiah undertook a remarkable project: the construction of the Siloam Pool, also known as the Pool of Siloam. This pool served as the sole source of fresh water in ancient Jerusalem, ensuring a constant water supply even during times of war. King Hezekiah's engineers achieved a remarkable feat by carving a path through solid rock about 2,000 feet from the Gihon Spring. The water would flow twice daily, cascading from the Gihon Spring into the Pool of Siloam. Measuring approximately 53 feet in length, 18 feet in width, and 19 feet in depth, the pool combines natural rock formations and man-made masonry. Regrettably, when the Babylonians launched their destructive attack on Jerusalem, the Pool of Siloam fell victim to their rampage. The echoes of destruction resonated through the city. It would take nearly 70 years during the time of Nehemiah for the walls of Jerusalem to be painstakingly rebuilt, bringing with it the restoration of the Pool of Siloam. Subsequently, the Pool of Siloam underwent further reconstruction and expansion during the reign of Herod the Great. It transformed into a gathering place for the impoverished and sick, seeking healing through its refreshing waters. The pool's significance extended to the Feast of Tabernacles, a joyous occasion in Israel with deep roots in biblical instructions found in Leviticus chapter 23, verses 34 and 43. This feast commemorates the Israelites' liberation from Egypt, with the directive for the Israelites to dwell in temporary booths or shelters for 7 days starting on the 15th day of the 7th month. Feasts occupy a cherished place in Israeli tradition as poignant reminders of pivotal historical events and symbolizing the cherished value of freedom. The water from the Pool of Siloam played a vital role in the ceremonial rituals of the Feast of Tabernacles due to its proximity to the temple. These sacred ceremonies were integral to Israel's cultural and religious heritage, establishing a profound connection to their past. Conflict in the Middle East. Also, amidst these formidable challenges, an unforeseen obstacle has emerged. The recent escalation of conflict in the Middle East has cast a shadow over potential agreements with the Muslim community regarding the rebuilding of the Third Temple. In early October of this year, an attack by Hamas sparked relentless airstrikes by Israel on the Gaza Strip. Tragically, these attacks have resulted in the loss of thousands of lives, adding a layer of complexity to the already intricate path toward this iconic achievement. As the conflict in the Middle East escalates, Palestinian health officials report numerous casualties, including children, revealing the indiscriminate nature of the violence. Hospitals meant to be sanctuaries have not been spared. The international community and humanitarian organizations vehemently condemn Israel's actions due to the continuous bombardment of the Gaza Strip and the resulting loss of innocent lives. Calls for a ceasefire resonate globally, leading to protests in various Middle Eastern countries and beyond. This unexpected turn of events has profoundly impacted the prospects for cooperation in rebuilding the temple. Progress has been hindered, and the realization of this monumental project faces delays. The violence has not only disrupted the lives of those directly affected, but has reverberated globally, affecting geopolitical dynamics and shifting the focus away from collaborative efforts. Biblical prophecies of Antichrist's role. Beyond the current challenges, the quest for the Third Temple is intertwined with prophecies, particularly in the Book of Daniel and the Book of Revelation. These ancient texts introduce the concept of an individual known as the Antichrist. Revelation 13 suggests this enigmatic figure may emerge as a future political leader. Interpretations point to the possibility of the Antichrist forming an agreement or covenant with Jewish leaders, potentially granting permission to rebuild the revered Third Temple. According to these interpretations, the Antichrist could persuade influential world leaders to support the temple's construction, intending to claim credit for this grand project. The Jewish community, vigilant about any attempts to wrongfully take credit for this significant undertaking, remains attentive to the unfolding geopolitical landscape. As the unfolding events in the Middle East impact the physical landscape and the geopolitical and prophetic narratives, the journey toward the Third Temple becomes increasingly complex. The interplay between ancient prophecies, contemporary conflicts, and the aspirations of a community determined to rebuild a sacred symbol underscores the multifaceted nature of this profound undertaking. So what do you think of the incredible turn in Israel, leaving the world shocked? Comment below and subscribe for more.